Coach, it's been an eventful week, 3 dual victories, starting with the win at a North Carolina team that's ranked as high as number 17. Then you come into Varsity Gym and win a doubleheader on Tuesday night. I guess let's start with North Carolina. Just as you've had some time to distance yourself from that results, what kind of stands out about the effort that night in Chapel Hill?
Well, I think it was a total team effort. We talked about going into that match. We knew it was going to take a team effort at 10 weight classes for us to have a chance to win, and it ultimately that was the outcome. We got bonus point victories at 2 weights. We split with them 5 and 5. Obviously, the pin at 125 made a big difference, but just reflecting, back on the win, I thought it was just a great win for the program. Just added another ranked win. Obviously, it being an in-state rival brings a lot of significance to our alumni base, the fans here at Appalachian State, to our university. So, anytime you can, win in-state against a ranked opponent, I think it's a big deal. And I think that going into that match, I knew that we had a chance to win, but I don't want to overlook it and not give our guys the credit they deserve for getting the job done, because it's not easy to beat a ranked team, and it's really not easy to do it in their home turf. So.
How do you kind of strike that balance with, you have a program that's accomplished a lot, and I don't think you're not doing cartwheels or anything like that after a win, but kind of finding that balance of celebrating, hey, this is a big deal, but also kind of staying level-headed about it because you guys expected to have big results.
Yeah, I think the expectation's there for us to win no matter who we compete against, and I like that. I appreciate that expectation. That's what I've always wanted from the time I started coaching here, is to get our program to a state to where we expect to win against big teams. And so, you might not see me or our coaching staff, celebrate like maybe some other teams do when we get a win like that. But, I was very happy about it. And I told my team, enjoy this win on the way home. But, it's one of those things. If you want to be, reach the kind of goals that our team has set in place, then wins like that have to happen, and you can't make them, a bigger deal than they are, but you also don't want to make them a small deal either. You want to make sure our guys, know they did a great job, and that our university and our athletics department's proud of them. But keep moving the bar forward, and trying to set our sights on the next match, which was last night we had 2 duels, and it was really important that we didn't get so wrapped up in the Carolina win that we didn't have a good couple of days of training leading into the duels last night.
You had mentioned Caleb's pin against North Carolina. Like you said, last year you split 5 and 5 with North Carolina, but it's 3 decisions. You end up with 15 points. What did that do for the team to get those 3 extra bonus points, 6 points total, right off the bat against a team like that?
Well, I think, we talked about it in the locker room all week leading up to the Carolina match. We knew that there was the potential there. The match was going to be really tight, and we could split with them 5 and 5. So we talked a lot about bonus points were going to be key. And I think I said multiple times in the locker room, I said, you guys that can get bonus points, you've got to secure them, and we cannot give up bonus points at any weight. And I think we ended up giving up bonus at 141, but other than that, we had 9 weights, or the other, 4 losses. We didn't give up bonus points, and some of them were highly ranked guys. So I was really proud. We had a couple of freshmen at 84, 97 that battled and stayed in there against ranked opponents, and didn't give up bonus points. And those little efforts, although they didn't win their individual bouts, that made a big difference in the outcome. So after last year's loss in Varsity Gym, that we split with them 5 and 5, and bonus points were the key deciding factor. We talked about that a lot, and I think I was really proud of our guys for finding a way to have that bonus point advantage in that match.
Will Miller gets the big win against a returning All-American who's ranked top 10 in the country. I think even meeting with the announcers before the duel, you kind of said, hey, this is a match I have my eye on. What's kind of given you that confidence and belief to see the development growth that Will has shown so far this season?
Well, I think, what all our fans see and what all the media sees, and, even what other teams see out on the mat, I've seen that for, months and even years ahead of time. For a lot of our athletes, I've watched them train, I've watched them develop in our room, and Will Miller's one of those guys that, we recruited him out of high school. He came from the state of Alabama. I think he had some highs and some lows as his freshman year last year, but I knew he had a tremendous amount of talent. But I really seen him. I've seen him kind of over the course of the last probably 8 months really buy into what the program is about. And that's where I really started seeing him take off. His development has improved. And, he had some really good results at U23s last summer up in Ohio. And so I kind of knew that he had the potential to do those kind of things. And, he had a breakout performance at Keystone where he won his first college tournament. And I think from there, it's kind of set the tone where I'm like, okay, this guy's legit. And I think that now other people are starting to see it. But I've known for a while. I mean, I think even the guys that interviewed me that were doing the broadcast for the Carolina match, when I mentioned that that's a match that I really kind of felt like we had a chance, I think they all thought I was crazy, and then ultimately that probably ended up being, one of the key matches to help us get that victory.
You mentioned the Tuesday doubleheader, win 39-0 against Bellarmine, 50-0 against Queens. What kind of stood out from that effort where you go 10 for 10 and 10 for 10 in both duels?
That's really hard. I mean, anytime that you wrestle a team to not allow them to score a single point, you got to be perfect. And, that's hard to do no matter who you're wrestling, and no matter what you're ranked or how much you're favored by it, to kind of have 10 guys in 2 separate duels that give a good effort and make sure that they don't have any kind of letdown. And so I was proud of our guys. I think it showed a dominant performance. We got some guys in the lineup last night that probably needed some reps. And so, anytime you can shut out opponents, at the Division I level, I think it's really important. And, we're now turning our sights and our focus on after Christmas.
What's the next week or two look like as you prepare to go to Chattanooga for the start of the new year?
Yeah, so we gave, our guys have the option to go home and train at home over the next 6 days while they're at home for Christmas, seeing their families. We've probably got 11 guys that are actually going to be staying in Boone and training throughout this next week. I'll train them. I'll be here the whole time, and so will Coach Patterson and Coach Diabe. So we'll train those 11 guys that'll be here training. Some of our guys will go home, train for a couple days at home, get to spend a little time with their families for Christmas, and then they'll be back here on the 26th. And then, we'll get, a pretty large portion of our team ready for the Southern Scuffle. We'll send a good contingency down to Chattanooga on New Year's, and then I'm not sure who all is going to wrestle in that tournament yet, but a lot of our guys will, and then we'll follow that right back up with a home dual meet against Binghamton here the week after.
Yeah, not to look too far ahead. Last night was the first night with, full crowd dual setting in Varsity Gym, and you just mentioned Binghamton coming up in early January, Virginia Tech, another big one in mid-January. Just for fans out there to, you got a top 25 ranking, you're back at Varsity Gym, just what would you kind of say to them, whether they've been here or where they haven't checked out a wrestling event, of what's coming up on the schedule?
Yeah, so we've got a really good dual meet home slate coming up here the second semester. This was the way that our schedule kind of was laid out this year, we didn't have that many home dual meets in the first semester. But, those season ticket holders and our fans are going to get their money's worth second semester, because we've got some really big dual meets that'll be coming to Varsity Gym. You get to see us wrestle against some really good teams and test ourselves. And, those are matches that you're not going to want to miss. So we got a lot of opportunities for our fans to see us compete at home here the next couple of months.